Help is on the way for the New England Patriots. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots. On the daily, pushing out Patriots content for people just like you who love Patriots football, whether they win or lose, are here on a daily basis. I appreciate that. Do me a favor before we get started, hit that subscribe button. As always, like and comment below. So, help is on the way for the Patriots. We're going to be talking about that as well. We're going to do a recap of the game, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we have to look forward to when it comes to the Fins, the Miami Dolphins. So we're going to just jump right into it. First of all, help is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Kendrick Bourne, a lot of people believe wide receiver number 1 will be returning to practice this week. This is huge news for the New England Patriots, especially for a wide receiver room that has struggled to produce at times. You could argue that has to do almost all with the offensive line and Jacoby Brissett. But when it comes down to it, having a number 1 out there like Kendrick Bourne, having him at the 1, most likely Pop at 2, possibly KJ Osborne or Jalen Polk at the 3, some more experience will be good for the New England Patriots. Now, if you forgot, Kendrick Bourne torn his ACL last October, so it's been basically a year upon his return. And so last year, before he got hurt, 37 catches, 406 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So if you look at that, he would have far and away probably been the leading receiver for the New England Patriots. He got injured, and then Pop kind of jumped in and took that number 1 spot. And he ended up having, I believe, about 500 some yards. And so having someone like Bourne, even though he is a little older, but has more experience, will be good for the New England Patriots. Comment below, what do you think? Do you think this is good news? Do you not really care? Do you think it's not going to help? I know a lot of people will probably say it doesn't matter if you can't throw the ball. True, but hopefully on the offensive side of the ball, when it comes to setting up for pass, he'll be somewhat of a threat, and we'll see what happens. But I think that is great news for the New England Patriots, and hopefully it's going to be very helpful in the weeks to come, especially if you watched any of my live stream yesterday after the game. We talked about the schedule going forward. You have teams like the Dolphins, the Titans, the Bears, very winnable games. Very winnable games. And so, again, I know a lot of people are like, listen, the Patriots just need to absolutely give up on the season. They just have to tank. Listen, that you should never do that. I know you're probably like, well, why not? But you play to win the game. It's what kind of man wants to go out and say, let's go lose today, guys? No. Listen, you're going to go be on the field, go out and compete. Go out and compete. You're not going to build a good culture, a good environment when that's the premise. It's not going to work. So moving forward, Patriots need to go out there and do what they can to get the W. Now, we look at the game yesterday. Final score, San Francisco 49ers 30, New England Patriots 13. Now, hear me out on this. The 49ers, great team. They're 2-2. They don't have Christian McCaffrey, which was a help to us, even though Mason still had 123 yards. But you look at this, take away 7, that's 23 because that pick 6, and then take away, I believe it was another 3, so 10, so 13-20. Now, the reason I say that is because the pick 6 given up by Jacoby Brissett, which was rough, and then the fumble by Ramondre Stevenson that I believe ended up in being a field goal for the San Francisco 49ers. So you look at that and you're like, Aaron, that's a stupid game to play. Hear me out. The defense did not have that rough of a game. They had moments where it was like, okay, this is tough to watch. But when you really look at it, it's tough when you're put in a position by your offense where your back is against the wall, especially on that Ramondre Stevenson fumble. So when you have a situation like that, it's hard to bounce back from that, especially getting rest. And so when you look at it in a way, the New England Patriots were in this game a handful of times, but literally just kept shooting. I saw a Twitter thing that was a guy, it was a foot, and it was a gun pointed at a foot, and it was just they kept shooting themselves in the foot. This game could have been closer than what it shows, But again, kept shooting themselves in the foot. Now we're going to talk about some of the positive things, the negative things, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. So first, Christian Gonzalez, dog. He only gave up 2 receptions for 12 yards. A lot of people have said, his stats aren't looking great from certain aspects. No, he had a great game when he was covering someone. Did an awesome job. Good job, Christian Gonzalez. Another little showing that says, hey, it was great that the Patriots picked him a couple years ago. Next, Joey Sly, the 63-yard bomb. Awesome. Chad Ryland, wherever you're at, best of luck. Glad you're not on the Patriots. He was 2 for 2, 63-yard one, and I believe it was, let's see here, I think it was 54. I don't know if it's going to show it on here, but 54, it's not going to show it. But anyways, solid showing from him. And so those were 2 kind of keys that were awesome, as well as you look at Jacoby Brissett. The 168 is not great, especially on 19 completions, not great at all. If you look at the receiving, though, you see that he got much more people involved in the game, in the passing game, which was awesome. Antonio Gibson was great to see coming out of the backfield. I loved it. Jalen Polk, young talent. So things are looking up. But again, what kills me, one of my favorite players being Pop Douglas, is he needs to get involved more. He only had 3 targets. We have seen he is electric. When he gets the ball, he can make plays. And so he needs to get the ball more in situations where he can get some yards after catch, where it's best suited for him. So again, just kind of frustrating. You look at KJ Osborne, rough game for him. He had 5 targets. He only had 1 reception for 3 yards. And then you had Tyquan Thornton, only 1 target. So, when it comes down to it, it was frustrating. And then we come down here to the turnovers. That was probably the biggest issue for the Patriots. Again, you look at the Stevenson, at bare minimum, if that ends in a punt, I think the Patriots defense the morale is much higher. Who knows what happens that drive. The pick, awful. So it was rough. Jacoby Brissett in the pocket does not look comfortable. And there was times by no means am I saying this is a good offensive line, but what stinks is when David Andrews, kind of the anchor of that line, goes out, and then you have Nick Leverett come in. I don't think Nick Leverett did awful. I actually think he did decent, especially given the situation. But there was plenty of times that he knew he had to get the ball out. And he got sacked, I believe, 6 times. Yeah, there was a handful of times he could have got rid of the ball and just thrown it out. And it was just hard to watch. It was very, very hard to watch. Now, when you look at the offensive line, what was tough was Robinson, the rookie out of Texas A&M, had a rough game. He had a very, very rough game. He was getting bull rushed. He did not look comfortable, as well as Jacobs on the left tackle spot. And that is hard because you're going up against Bosa and Collins, and there was times he could somewhat hold his own, and there was other times that the pocket was just collapsing. That was his first start ever, and you're going up against Nick Bosa, who is going to be a Hall of Famer one day. And so that is a tall order. It's not like, hey, we need you to go up against these scrubs named the Carolina Panthers. No, we're going up against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, and they have world-class edge rushers. So best of luck. Again, Jacobs was supposed to be a practice squad player for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos were hoping to pick him back up through waivers and put him back on the practice squad. No, he is now starting for the New England Patriots. So again, glaring issue for Elliott Wolf in the front office. The offensive line in the offseason needs to be figured out. I don't care what you do. Figure it out. Now, we've talked about this a lot as well, but know this. The New England Patriots will be starting Drake May soon. Against the Miami Dolphins might not necessarily be bad. And the reason I say that is because the Dolphins are down. They're not looking good. He could start against the Titans. The Titans actually have a decent defense. But when you look at it, I truly believe through 4 games now? Through 4 games, the Patriots would look better and have more of a spark under Drake May. Again, could he get out there and absolutely get murdered? Yes, obviously, by the offensive line. But that could happen at any time, even with a good offensive line. So getting him out there, getting him mobile, and AVP has said more than once, and I've said this as well, how he would run his offense under Drake May is different how he does it with Jacoby. Jacoby can only move so much. Jacoby is, and I've said this, Jacoby is not a starting quarterback. He is a backup quarterback. He is a placeholder. He is, if we want to have a spark in this offense, we need to let Drake May spread his wings and get out there and play some football. It might be ugly. Yeah, it might be ugly, but I bet you there'll be some moments where you look at it and you're like, gosh, I got hope for the future. You know, you can see that the connections between him and the young receivers like Polk or Pop or whatever, and probably hopefully giving a confidence a little bit to the offensive line if he's able to somewhat scramble a little bit, get out of the pocket or whatever, prevent sacks. Who knows? But again, I think it is worth looking into. So again, comment below. What do you think? What were the decent parts of the game yesterday? What were the parts that just absolutely grinded your gears? Comment below. Again, on your way out, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe, like, comment. This is Sports Talk Patriots. I appreciate you guys. We'll talk later. Peace.